I was trying to go like that.
Chill. What's that? Don't hype him up.
I'ma fix it, painting portraits, get the picture, like the paper, not the swisher. I'm your elder, call me mister. Y'all should probably do the math. I done been to hell and back. Remo had me in the abs. White boys hitting dabs. Went from bummy to your girl probably bumped me. Thoughts of things, turn a 5 to dime, nothing to something. It's a classic tale like The Alchemist. Mama would be proud of this. Wonder where I'd be without this shit. Probably down and out and shit. Be easy just like the alphabet. Might wanna reroute your shit. You ain't about this shit. No, you don't want these problems like calculus. How to master the bad ones, I done passed them up. She just fell in love with me and I ain't even had to fuck. Kamikaze, blinded by the show lights.
It is Friday, which means that it is sparring day, and we get a plethora of people: beginners, intermediate, advanced, fighters, crews, and yeah, like today was a great day. We have people bringing their kids to go around and play. Kids are running around. You have to make sure not to bump into any of them. And usually Fridays are the most fun days, but it's the days where you have to mentally prepare yourself because, especially with the high-level guys, a lot of people have fights coming up. It's fight season, which pretty much means that, like, you know what I mean? You have to be zeroed in because when you're training for a fight, you want to get all your anxieties out in training so you feel like you're sharp, so you feel like you're ready. So just a few moments ago, Sai over here, Fuzzle, DJ extraordinaire, has a fight coming up in about 5-6 weeks, and he, yes, John, take care. And yeah, we just had a war of a round, and the thing is, the round started off super technical, right? You saw that, it started off super technical, and then slowly, I noticed as we were sparring, we had a lot more room in the ring. No one else is around, and I landed a leg kick, and it's one of those where it's like you don't put a lot of power on it, but the noise is there, the turnover's there. And then a war just started back and forth. And this guy, I mean, I've had, what, like 9-10 fights now. He only had one demo, but it doesn't fucking matter. We have elbow pads on. I landed maybe a few rounds earlier, left elbow down the pipe. So I guess that just, things started shit just started happening. And then I backed him up to the rope. He actually bobbed and weaved under my hook, but then his head got stuck in between the fucking ropes. And then by the time he got back out, the round was over. But I really wanted to keep it going. And, you know, I just fought last week, so I'm in fight shape. And I always make it a point to be in fight shape. And cardio is what I consider to be my forte. So I want to go another round with him. But I see that he's breathing heavy, and he put everything he had into it. So I had to put my ego to the side and be like, you know what? That was the round that I got. In a real fight scenario, if you go 3 rounds, you can't be like, give me another round. You have to do it there and now. So it's a lesson in disguise because no matter how good you get, no matter how good you feel after a fight, no matter how good in shape you are, you come into this ring and you're going to get humbled one way or another by either someone that's way better than you or someone that you have more experience than and you should be better than on paper, but then they just start tagging you and then you really have to step up. And that's what Fridays are like all the time. Well, we started off as a very small gym. There wasn't really that many fighters. Now we have this really big facility, but in Ajax there was no Muay Thai program. There was just a jiu-jitsu program here. And those guys were always competing. I remember in 2014 when I first walked in here, when we were just a small garage, it was just the jiu-jitsu guys rolling. And they were competing. And you know, back then I had no prior martial arts experience. So I thought it was cool, like the idea of going to tournaments, competing against others, training for something, getting a gold medal. And it was crazy. And then we had Andrew as a coach, but we didn't have the infrastructure in terms of team to kind of lead us into like sanctioned fights. So fighting seemed like something, like such a far out goal. I honestly didn't think at one point, I thought I was like, you know, I was gonna learn this shit quickly, you know, Bruce Lee style, Karate Kid style. I got humbled my first few days here, and then I kind of thought like, man, I don't know if this is for me. Like I'll learn to, and then it became about me learning to defend myself and learning how to get beat up. And then 2.5-3 years later, I graduated from school. I was just working my 9 to 5. Realized how incredibly unfulfilling that can be if you didn't have any passions outside of your 9 to 5. If you're not passionate about that, let's say. And then I started training to fight, and then my coach Andrew, my crew, Andrew Cummings, looks at me and says, get ready, let's get ready to fight. And my ego wouldn't let me say, oh, I don't want to, so I said, I guess I'm fighting. And my first demo, actually, at Siam #1. My last name is Siam, not because people think I named it after like Siam. My last name is Siam because that's my last name. It's an Egyptian last name. It just so happens that it also is the name of the old kingdom of Thailand. But a lot of people, when I go to fight, they think like, oh, like he named himself after a gym, and no, it's my actual last name. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent, but my nose actually got broken in my first demo here. I don't know if you can tell. There's like this tall, 6'1" guy. You know, probably outweighed me by like 10 pounds, but it was a good like demo. I was in control for the most part. And in the last round, he went to go through and throw it to my body, and I tried to go for an overhand, cracked, broke my nose. It started bleeding, but then I heard the clap, clap, clap like 10 seconds. So I just started rushing him. And then at the end of the fight, the doctor tells me, oh, you have a broken nose. And the only thing that I could think about was, I want to do this again.
Got the legends. Legends in the building. They're talking. One of the sickest, man, legendary, knowledgeable people, Aaron, the general. This is a top level conversation right here. I don't even want to join. I'm not on that standard yet.
This is your first martial art or you did boxing? Never did boxing. This is your first martial art.
Muay Mat style. He is Muay Mat.
I love to spar with all of them. Everyone has a different style. Every time I switch up with different partners, I have to switch it up because everyone's so unique in here. That's why I feel like I will become successful in this because they're just so talented. Like these guys are monsters in the ring. We have national champs here. We have killers in here. So I can't say I love sparring with everyone. Hany, Chris, Thomas, Andrew, friggin' Rob, Jacob. It's amazing. You know what I mean? So I can't pick. My name's Sai Uzumaki. That's my stage name. But I usually my real name is Fuzzle Raymond. Everyone here, these are my family, so I like my family to call me by my real name. There's something special about this place, to be honest. Like, it kind of like, this is like a home for me. Just because when I come here, it's like, it's not only I'm just training, it's not just like, I'm not only training, it's like, I'm walking into a home where like, it's like a safe haven, you know what I mean? Muay Thai, I love it, it's super traditional. It's like, it's hardcore in my opinion. I love fighting. I've always been a fighter. I grew up with 3 older brothers and 1 older sister. I was the youngest out of all of them, out of 5. So like, the most I can say is like, I kind of grew up in a very tough environment where I would fight all the time. 3 years ago, I came in for a bit. I left like an idiot, started doing bad things, just went down the wrong pathway. But basically, I came back and it's been about a year. And I can say just like, it really kind of took me out of a dark zone. Like I was going through a dark pathway, and it kind of brought me purpose in life. And I finally found myself. Like Rob, he's one of the trainers here. He's my training partner, brother, family. He looked at a photo of me. It was like about 8 months back, and I was 185. Like I would weight train, and I was just super heavy. And he looked at me. This one hit me. He's just like, this is not you. This is not who you are. And I looked at myself, I looked in the mirror, I look so much better, I feel healthier, I'm around my family, and I'm just like, that is not myself. I don't even know who that person is. And now I feel like more like myself than ever. I'm more motivated. One quote I like to go by 50 Cent, he said, surround yourself with individuals that are on the same path as you. And I love to live by those words because I'm surrounding myself with animals. Not animals, and I keep saying in my family, my brothers, and honestly, I'm on the road to success. We are on the road to success. No I in team here. Even though it's you in the ring, I feel like I'm walking with a whole 500-man squad behind me on some 300 type of shit. But yeah, man, this is what it is. It's my life. I'm a musician as well, producer. 2 passions, just going at it. I'm gonna chase my dreams, and I'm not gonna stop until I make it, until we make it.
person I probably had the most hours sparring with is Thomas Mandra. In 2014, he was this like 14-year-old, prepubescent white kid, and that was the first guy I ever sparred. I'm like, I'm 28 years old. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna handle this guy. It doesn't matter if he knows how to train. Drops me.
Oh wow.
As a 20-year-old, when you realize that you can get beat up by a skinny 115-pound kid that has been through puberty, it humbled me so hard. And from that day, me and him would train all the time. He ended up taking time off from when he was 14, or when he was 15 to 18, some personal stuff, so he took some time off. In that time, I kept training. In March of 2018, 2 years ago exactly, almost till this day, he comes back, starts training again. And he came back on sparring day, he was out of shape, and I took it to him. It was payback for a teenager, him beating me up. But then after that, he came back, and now, in the time that he came back, within 6 months, he became national champion. He was always had a skinny build, but he went from like being 170 pounds to fighting at 147 pounds. That's easily my most difficult sparring partner. He's a southpaw, he's very skilled, and to make things worse, he works incredibly hard. If you land anything on Thomas, he didn't give it to you. It's because you earned it, right? But if I land on him, he's like, all right, I gotta get 2-3 back. So that's my main story. That's like kind of, if you think Israel Adesanya and Dan Hooker, that kind of relationship.
Who's Dan Hooker and who's Adesanya?
Based off of the size, I would give him Adesanya. I'm the white guy, he's the black guy.
My name is Christopher Thompson. This is MMA, Ajax Mixed Martial Arts. I've been doing this martial art on and off for 2.5, 3 years. I started this because one day I was on the bus and I got jumped by this person on the bus. After that, my family told me, you have to learn some type of self-defense. And I came here and I start working out, and after I start enjoying the lifestyle, and I keep on going and going and going, and now it's been 2.5, 3 years on and off. I enjoy this lifestyle even when I'm not at the gym. I go home, study it like a book, watch YouTube, watch us on Instagram, keep on watching, keep on studying, and I get better. My style is, I love North American. I grew up watching Mike Tyson, grew up watching George Foreman. So like I said, I enjoy watching heavyweights, like mostly bullies like Tyson, George Foreman, Vladimir Klitschko. So I just love North American more than kickboxing.
Nerve-wracking in a calm way. I know he's not going to try to put me out or anything like that, but it's almost like the feeling of this guy knows exactly what to do in every single situation is nuts. It's like he'll throw a cartwheel kick, and I know he's throwing a cartwheel kick, and he's going to land the cartwheel kick. Like, it's crazy. That's the guy who taught me how to clinch. That's the guy who taught me so many things about Muay Thai, like the culture within it, and just opened up my mind to so many different things. And yeah, sparring that guy, he's a southpaw as well. And there's also Rob, 37-year-old dad, had his first fight last year. That guy is just down. The guy in the purple shorts sitting down on the ring apron, that guy is just intense. Yeah, sparring the gentleman, he'll be coming at you with something every different week. Like, just when Aaron taught me the clinch, for instance, and I was able to get the full plumb on Andrew, I'm like, yeah, I got him. 2 weeks later, he figured out something else in the clinch, and I'm just like, can I swear?
Yeah.
For fuck's sakes, man, it's just frustrating. And he's also my coach, so he knows me on a personal level. When you know your fighters on a personal level, you know what, it's almost like 2 weeks before fight time, he knows exactly what to say to make me worried just enough that I stay sharp enough. You know, you think like before a fight you want to be always ready and always be composed. That's the guy that like, if you land certain things on him, that guy goes toe to toe with Thomas. And like that guy, you know what I mean? He has like a hernia.
This is Thomas.
Yeah, that's Thomas, but the general has a hernia, and you never think so, just because he's intellect. I understood what fight IQ was and what it represented when I started sparring him, because it's like week in, week out, it's just different things. Same with Aaron and even Showtime over there. There's just so many great sparring partners that come in and out, and it's just like whether you have more experience or whether you have less experience, it's like everybody brings something different to the table, and I mean that. Like every single person makes you better, because if you're not feeling on point one day, but the guy with no fights is feeling on point one day, he's gonna land that head kick, and then you're gonna have to learn how to deal with that and learn how to adjust with that. That's the thing I love about this gym, is that your ego will always take a backseat to the principle, which is help each other get better and learn how you can improve.
I'm not leaving my socks. Like, I don't know. This is not good.
Hany, are these your socks, yo? Oh fuck, no!
These are yours?
Videotape that. Look at him.
How dare you guys?
He's too cool. He's too famous. Thinks he can just throw it on the floor like.
I've been framed. This is propaganda.
Hany, do better.
This is how he treats me better.